Hello there, it's February 20th. I just finished filming March for this year and I realized that I hadn't done any recap video in 2 years. So I have 2 years of productivity to show off for. I filmed all of them and I still love them, and yeah, 2 years is a long time. So let's see how it is. So if you can recall, last month that I filmed was February of 2 years ago, the fairies. And after that I went all crazy and decided to do contest, which took so long and it's so crispy because there's so much paint, but I really love it. I also stopped editing my videos, but that because the video and the voiceover was problematic. But I still love it every single time I opened it. I really did a really good job on the colors and I really like it. I'm really proud of this one and it was a lot of work. I appreciate that too. I only used Pocahontas quotes and I made screenshots for the reference, and yeah, I really had fun. Some were really didn't turn out as good as I wanted, but still like them. This one is super crispy and dry, but I love it. So yeah, after that I tried to force myself to comment my fanfics. It didn't work, so let's see this. And then it was April, and I started this April very late because I was in a bit of a bad time, so I only filmed April the 13th, I think. So most of the first pages are not filled. It was emo themed and I love it. I did my best to just compile maximum of doodles to give off the right vibe, and yeah, had a lot of fun. I especially love this one. I was planning to ink it, but as I finished the sketch I loved it so much I decided, oh yeah, screw that, I'm gonna keep it. So yeah, it really has a high school vibe with all the little notes, and frankly I had a lot of fun doing that. This one I'm very proud. It was a lot of work, but it looks pretty great. Some of the hearts are pretty great. It was a very heavy month too because it took a lot of work, but most of the doodles were doodles, so they didn't have to be perfect, and that was a lot better. It was a lot easier. Another May, I usually do them very specific and very personal, so you won't understand the references, but I did. I love that, this part it. I was really happy with my Pocahontas one, so I decided to keep the circle thing. Yeah. This one took a long time. I put a little pages here to keep ideas for future videos, and for now it's not doing anything, but I kept it. And then was June, and June is Pride Month, so I decided to have a lot of fun and go full rainbow. And yeah, I had a lot of fun with this one. It was very simple but very colorful. This is the asexual flag, mine, and this one is the gender fluid flag, so mine too, and I loved it. I did a lot of research to have all of the good colors, the good symbols to not mess up, and yeah, it was they were not very good drawings, but there's a lot of colors, and I think that's important. The whole month is about color, it's not about precision of drawings, so it's great. And this one is indeed a Destiel fan art. And then it was July, and oh boy, this one took 7 hours. I timed it. I did it all in one stride, because I knew that if I didn't do it all at once, I will never finish it. This is the Captive Prince themed month. This is the map of the world, and it was a quote, and it's a lot of work. And yeah, Captive Prince is by far one of my favorite things, and the base on which I write most of my fanfictions. And there is a lot of gold in it, and the gold took 3 layers of paint to look like that. So I had to paint 3 times, letting it dry in the meantime, so it took forever. But it's worth it because look how beautiful it is and shiny, and I love it. And yeah, I had a lot of fun and I love it really much, but it took so much work. And it took me too long to realize that I really needed to lay down on work, because I need to slow down. This is too complicated, this is taking way too much time. So yeah. Again, it was complicated to decide what to take and what not to take to give off the right vibe without being too specific. But I liked it. August was a problem, because I didn't finish it in time, and it took me a year, maybe a little more, to actually finish it. It was dragon themed, and since it's all sketches, it had to be filmed and start as sketches as I was filming, and I couldn't sketch and only ink as I do usually. So I had to really sit down for hours and hours to sketch, and it took really too much will that I didn't have. But I don't regret, because it's really beautiful and I really love it, and yeah, I'm glad I have a dragon month. This one was mostly Guiche themed, but yeah, I only did sketches, and all of the runes were in ink, and that's all. This one was the one I was struggling most of it, and the proportions are not extremely great, but it's done, and that's the principle. I know that I had planned to make one there, and then I forgot, and I said screw that. I like this one, and I like the glow too. That was my Christmas list, because I decided to gift myself some presents for Christmas, because it was depressing me to spend it alone. So I decided to make a Christmas list, do some things, pack them up, cover the thing, and if I forget about it, it will be a surprise. It kind of worked, I just have a really good memory, which is problematic. So hey! My camera ran out of battery, so I have to refilm the last 10 minutes that I didn't film. So as I was saying, it's my Inktober page. I did all of them, I just didn't check them. And that is the page with all of the challenge I put myself through every fall, and even if I love it, it's a lot of work, and usually I have a job in the meantime, so it's just too much. So last year, I know I didn't do it, but I was very depressed, so I don't force myself to do that anymore. Then it was my first Tumblr month, and it was really just Pinterest still style, and I love it. I like this one. It's from a picture of a real embroidery thing, and yeah, those donuts took me forever because it's hard to represent donuts with watercolor. And those two, I love them. The petals of the dahlia are for the mood, and both of them took me forever and are the reason I procrastinate on this one. Along with this one. But it's okay because it's really pretty and I really love it. There's a page you can see. Oh no, it's next month. So yeah, I love it. And then it was October. Again, it was more of a Tumblr Pinterest month, but both of those are from Tumblr posts. This one is a character from a Halloween comic, and this one is a Tumblr post. This one is from A Nightmare Before Christmas, and this one is a picture I recreated. This one is from a post on the Skeleton War. Yeah. And this one was a picture too, and I tried to represent the reflection, and I think I did a pretty good job. In the end, the ones that I really love are the doodles and the last two pages, because even if they took a lot of work, they're pretty great. They look dope. So yeah, another book that is done. And then it was November, another very heavy month, because even if it didn't take much brain, mandalas are very time consuming, and it was again something that I couldn't sketch on my desk and then film. I had to do it all in front of the camera, and yeah, it took forever. So I was not very brave and I just passed. But I really like this one. I don't like all of it because it can be bad, but I love this one. I don't like those one particularly well, but I love those ones. Those are for my mood. And it's done. I think it's important. Maybe I should have filled all of that, of the blank space. That was the goal in the first place, but it took so long that I just gave up. Also, this is the last page of One Sentence a Day, because as you can see, I didn't feel it. I just stopped writing this way and start writing for real in real pages. So I stopped there. I don't think I did it for December. And December was Nutcracker themed, so it was very complicated, very heavy, very detailed, so it took freaking long too, and I procrastinated a lot on this one because it was just too much. This is pretty, I really like it, but it took forever. This one I really like. This one is very heavy and I'm not sure I really like it, but this one I struggled a lot because I don't draw people usually, and the position was really weird and really something I'm not comfortable with. And the ballerina's body that I was referencing was of course a body of a ballerina, so it was really thin and really twisted because that's the job. So it was really complicated, but I'm glad I persevered because I really like the end result. But yeah, it was too much to bite. I couldn't swallow. I like this one. This one is very heavy and I'm not sure I like it because it's just too heavy. I like the flowers and I like the little shimpies. They took me forever. They shouldn't have taken me so long, but they did. So yeah. And then 2020. So for 2020 I decided to not do a specific art for the title, but instead do something very minimalist. And then for each month add a doodle that was fitting the current theme of the month. So I did one doodle for each month of 2020. And so we have January here, then February, then March, then April, then May and June, July, August, September, October, November and December. So as you can see, January was penguins. Penguins and skating, ice skating. So yeah, that's supposed to be ice. Could be worse. Overall, I was familiar with drawing penguins already because I drew a lot for my girlfriend then, that loved them, and I don't actually like them. I don't like drawing them. I think the body is weird and the curves are complicated to draw and I don't really like it. And the tones are complicated because I only had black and white, and even though on the pictures of course there are shades and all, but it's just impossible to draw and to paint correctly. So I didn't do this one for a long time because just didn't want it to, was too complicated. But I like this one, so I'm glad I did it in the end. And then February was a bitch. February was Phoenix themed, and that's the symbol for Phoenix, and it's complicated because I was on unknown territory. I didn't know how to do half of the thing that I wanted to do, and mainly I couldn't draw or paint ashes or charcoals because I just never did that. And even if it's the good occasion to learn, it was a little more just for, again, bite more than I could chew. But I'm glad I did it because frankly the color palette for this one is great and it's gorgeous and I love it. And what I love the most about that month is this page, because I had no idea how to do charcoal, and I was like, okay, screw that, I'm just gonna dab some watercolor on it and screw that. And it turned out freaking great and I love it. So yeah, no regrets. I love this one too. It took me a while because of all the shades, but I loved it. And that is the first one of the series that for my Brenda page I make a filigrane or just big stylized drawing, and it's never something complicated, it's always just simple lines, and that's what I do now most of the time. And that is the result of how I drew or more paint the ashes, and I don't know if it really shows that it's ashes, but it's the closest I could get, so it's done. I'm glad for that. So yeah, and then March. March was another story altogether because I decided to recreate for the 2 years the first ever March that I did, and it was floral themed, and do it better because I'm supposed to have learned in the meantime. And yeah, it's gorgeous and I love it, and I love this front page because it's such a beautiful, and those flowers and all, I really love it. I chose a typo specifically on on internet. I searched for typos to have flowers on it and leaves, and yeah. I did a lot of work. Those took a lot of time, but I think they look gorgeous and I really love them. This is another typo that I used for it. This is really pretty. That reminds me of what I was doing in the first year. More. The crowns and the things like that sadly don't do anymore. I should, because they're really pretty. And I made some art too that I like. I really like this one. Sadly, it was a drawing dump and I never had anything to put in there, so in the end I went back and added a quote. So yeah, it's the last tweet of Leonard Nimoy. This one I don't actually like that much, but I like the configuration of the page and I probably should do that more often. This one's simplistic, but I like it, and I wanted to recreate the Lily one that I did last time. It was complicated because I wanted to up my game, and I'm not sure the paint job is really great, but I know the drawing in the underneath is really good and I love it. I really love those watercolors ones. Really pushed myself to learn something new for these ones and I like it. I like this one because it's really filled with flowers, and yeah, it took a longer time, but I like it. So yeah, this one took a lot of time too, but I love them. And then April, which was flamingos, because I was tired of making something serious and I just asked for ideas to my friend and I was like, I want something pink, and she said, okay, flamingos. And I said, okay, challenge accepted. And I had a lot of fun. I mostly reference Disney movies for those ones. This one is from Aladdin. And yeah, it's really fun, I love it. And it developed my love for flamingos from there. I like this one, it's really pretty. It's the same one that I recreated on the front page. So yeah, I like this one. Again, it's the stylized, very minimalist version for the Dressed Up page. This one's from Fantasia. This one too, I love it. And all of the yo-yos were for the mood. This one's from Alice in Wonderland. And this one's from Untitled Chapter. And this one's from Fantasia too. And Alice again. And this one is Aladdin again. Alice and Fantasia. Because I actually had them in Disney's and I like them, so I didn't want to put that much pressure on myself. Then another May, another very personal month. I like this one, but I didn't wait enough for the drying process, so it didn't work well. This is the replication of my tattoo that I did around that time. And then June I decided to go all out, and since I was adding some Lemony Snicket quotes to all of my month mostly, I decided to just go all out and make a VFD month. So it's all about Lemony Snicket's a series of unfortunate events, and all of the quotes are from there. And I like it. I had a lot of fun. It's not the prettiest that I ever did. It's not very colorful or very complicated, but those always took a lot of time. But yeah, in the end I liked it for other reasons than the aesthetic. And then I decided I wanted to make something really pretty and really simple in theme, and I remember that I liked my ladybugs and poppies month, so I decided to go for orange this time and for orange. And God, I don't know the word in English. Well, all of the family of citrus fruits. So what? Yeah, it was July and I like it. It was very minimalist and really colorful and pop, and I love it. And since it worked very well, I decided to do more of them, and that's what I'm doing right now in 2021. This way it was not that complicated. I didn't have to make a lot of research for the references and all, so this is citrus scale. We use it in fanfiction. Yeah, I liked that July. And we're entering the very last book that I have yet. And we're entering it with August, and August was the first of the 2 cheat months that I used, and this one was for Barbie, and I call them cheat months because I used Redbubble stickers, so I didn't draw anything. All of those were made by some other people, and it was just because last summer I had a lot going on. I was starting a new job, I didn't have the energy of the time to do anything, so I decided to do just something easy but still a theme that I liked. So the drawings are great, but they're not mine, so they're a lot less work. And I don't really regret. It's not pretty, but September it's another cheat month, and it's themed on MLP and mostly on Luna and Celestia dichotomy. And yeah, it's another cheat month. It's all about stickers, but I did a better job this time on integrating them in my pages, so I like them better this way. Yeah, the job was really to put the pages in some way that everything could fit, because they can be pretty big. Those that I did myself, and I like them, they're pretty. I still did a few drawings, but they're fewer than other months. They're really cheating, but they were good for then. October then was my monster fucking month, and I went again for a sketching month, so no inking, so no sketching in advance. It was all done then, the moment I filmed. So it was monster fucking. I had a vampire here, I had the shape of wood here, I had a werewolf, the same drawing that I love so much that I wanted to recreate. This one is a Wendigo from Supernatural. This one is again from Guillermo del Toro's movie, and this one is the Pan's Labyrinth. Those are the Eyes of Demon from Winchester Journal from SPN again. This one is the monster from the Alien from Vincent and the Doctor episode. This one is Gargoyles. It's I don't remember this name, but I love him. He's a really pretty character, and he's badass. I love him. And I have one of my things that are based on him. And then it was November. And November I went minimalist in the way that it's all Tumblr team again, but it's all dry leaves and quotes put on brown papers, and there is no drawing in there. It's really simplistic, but it looks nice. But it took a lot of less work. It was more organic than anything, and I'm minimalist, and I think I like making minimalist November month because I usually have so much going on October's that I really need some rest after that. kit. And then December was angels, and I went all crazy on angels because they're badass. And I decided to give them a grey wash, so they're all angel statues, stone statues. So yeah, that's a monochrome month too, because none of them are more than stone colored. But yeah, it took a lot of work, took a lot of faces, and I'm not good at faces. This one is really more pretty in reality, but I was not recreating a drawing, I was recreating a photograph, and it takes a lot of practice that I do not have. This one is a drawing, so I struggled a lot less. This one, those took forever, but I really love them. Drawing all of them by hand was really time consuming, but like my hand was hurting so much after that. But I don't regret, because frankly they're really pretty. And one day I will have those shelves thing in my home with thousands of different wings pairs there. I have a few of those doodles, and that's the one I used on the 2020 page. This one was a photograph of a statue, and this one is a fan art, a good immense one. And I wanted at least one biblical angel, but they take a lot of work because they're really complicated, so I only did one. But it's okay because I still like it. This one is a fan art too, it's a Castiel fan art. And this one too is a Castiel fan art. And then this page is used to put all of my ideas for Jello tinctures, my new Etsy shop. So I have all of my synthetic threads here, my wool threads here, all of my tears, and another page for the candles. And I think I'm gonna need to make another page because I'm running out of room, to be honest, so I'm probably gonna need to make another one anytime soon. I went minimalist for 2020. I will not do again the one doodle a month. I liked it, I loved it a lot, but that was a 2020 thing and I don't want to do it anymore. And since I'm focusing my year on vlogging every week, I decided to keep that as a theme, and video and vlogging, because my goal is not to put all of my energy on the bullet journal this year. My goal is to put a lot of energy on my videos and all of my progress on my big projects. So yeah, it's the start of minimalist theme, in the idea that I will have one color or two, here it's two, with one fruit or one plant or one specific idea. So it keeps very specific, so I don't have to come up with all of the ideas like for my Get to Prince month, because I had to come up with the idea of what to draw to represent what I wanted to represent. For January it was Dragon Fruit month, so I didn't have to think about it too much. I had to draw dragon fruits. So it's just easier for my brain to make simplistic month, and it's not simplistic because they take a lot of work, they're complicated, but it's easier for the brain. And I love them. I really like the Dragon Fruits month because it's so pretty. I love the pink and the green again together, and I ate a dragon fruit for it and it's so good, I love it. So yeah, that was my first Jello tincture double page, and this one I use for my dreads. This one I really like. Yeah. This one is a complete original drawing. Again, for my brand up, still a simplistic minimalist one. This one too is an original one. And then February, the current month, which is cherries. So again, it's a minimalist. It's cherries and red, and that's all. And red and green, of course, because they're olives. Another page for Jello tinctures. and yeah, I'm working on it. That is the current month, so it's not completely filled, but it's a lot easier to just draw cherries every day. Some of them, like those, are just doodles. Those can be a little more complicated, but they're still very simple, so it was a little bit of relief for my brain. But it's still really pretty and I really like it. And it's March, which I just filmed. And it's snakes themed, so it's green. I know I decided my themes by the colors that I came up with when I made these things. So I decided December was gray, so I decided to make the angels. January was pink, so I decided, hey, dragon fruit is not bad. February was red, so cherries. March, snakes. And April would be Mothman, and May would be Mermaid. So for now we have green snakes for March. And I like it. I wanted to have my colors more intense, but at least this way I still have all of my details, so it's great too. They're not perfect, but I gave up the vibe that I wanted, so I think it's good. I channeled my inner Slytherin for it. So yeah. I have the stickers, my best friend gave them to me, so I want to use them because they're in the right theme, but I don't know where to use them yet. Maybe if I have room somewhere, I'll just stick them there. We'll see. And it's good for now. I'm gonna have to buy another book soon enough, but it's not for today. Ta-da! I hope you liked it. I'm gonna do another one next March, I think, if I manage to not screw up and not procrastinate again on month and month. For now, since December actually, since November, because November I did all of Untitled, I only do the months all at once. I no longer make all of the sketch and decide to draw them later, because I don't want to be screwed again and to be stuck in a situation where I'm late on stuff again. So now I do them all on a stride, and if I think that I don't have the energy, I just make it more simple. So that's my goal for now. Hopefully next March I will be able to say, hey, I stick to my goal. But we'll see. Until then, bye!